Any artist that is in pursuit of a career is facing fear, obsessive self-judgment, overthinking, mental and emotional barriers. My name is Luther Mallory. This is the State of the Artist podcast.
State of the Artist podcast. This one is about fear. The most insidious, demolishing of energy force that you are dealing with as an artist in pursuit of a career. It's fear. It's horrifying. In life too. It's why you didn't make that call 3 days ago. That's fear. So what we really want to break down in this episode is, how is fear affecting your creative output and your presentation? How are you able to progress as an artist with this fear in the way? So let's break down fear for a second. There are two interesting types of fear: failure and success. Both make it so you don't try, right? That's the cause of fear of failure and success: lack of trying, which is ultimately lack of risking anything, right? So you don't try, and you would need to try to fail, and you would need to try to succeed. Instead, we avoid trying because we don't want the responsibility of either. Fear of failure is this idea that you anticipate the event. Let's say working out. You want to work out an hour from now, and your brain goes, okay, but yeah, historically, we're probably going to skip that. And I really, really, really am not feeling like I want to put that energy out right now. And you have that thought, and it triggers this fear of failure, which is fear that you're not going to take responsibility in the future for that thing coming up. You go, oh God, usually I just skip working out and I'm such a fucking piece of shit for that. And you just start using yourself as a punching bag, and the fear scales into that. I'm afraid that I'm going to fail because I keep proving to myself that I do in this way and in this way and in this way. Fear of failure. Fear of success is really, really interesting. It's like you make it to the workout, and then you're crushing the workout, and you're in it, and you're like, oh man, I'm on fire. And then after the workout or during the workout, the brain kicking in then and going, can we really sustain this level of energy every day? Are we supposed to be doing this every day? And you say to your brain, well, yeah, it's healthy. It's going to make us confident, look good. And your brain's like, it's really exhausting and it sucks. We should not do this, obviously. And you're like, I think we really should do it. And your brain is doing that. And that's that fear of success. Fear of taking responsibility and maintaining that energy. Fear of having to change everything about the standard you operate at. That's the fear of success. Fear of moving forward also makes you not try. I saw an interview once with Jennifer Lawrence where they asked her about her personal life when she got famous, when she suddenly blew up. And she said, oh, my personal life was demolished by getting famous. And of course it was. And that's a horrifying concept, that everything would change if you got successful. Because, oh my God, that's going to change my relationships, my time, my lifestyle, my money. Everything is going to change. And what is that going to feel like, and how am I going to keep up with that? Fear of success. Both make it so you don't try, and you choose stagnation, and you choose not risking anything, which turns, of course, into depression and anxiety and beyond. Fear is insidious like that. It's really, really crushing of all energy. So how fear manifests in certain ways is like this. Let's go over this. In live performance, if you're a performance artist, how does fear manifest? How does fear keep you down and buried in live performance? It makes it so you don't take risks. 20 minutes before sleep, the night before performance, when you're in bed and you're dreaming of the jump kick you're going to do off the fucking bass amp, and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, that's going to be good. Oh, that's going to be crazy. I'm going to hold his hand in the front row, fucking sing into his eyes. You're doing that. Okay, great. And then the next day, when you're on stage and the time comes for it to happen, your brain kicks in and goes, no, wait a sec. Wait a sec there, buddy. No. We're not doing that. That's too much of a risk. What if you're an idiot? What if he doesn't see you and you fucking, what if you fall off the stage? What if you, mostly, what if they think you're an idiot for this, right? Fear of failure, right there. Fear of rejection from people. Fear of not being loved ultimately. So fear manifests on stage in that it doesn't let you take the big risks you're planning on taking or that you should take. Like jump off the fucking stage, get on somebody's shoulders, wear a battle axe on your shoulder during one of the songs, light your face by lantern, do 40 push-ups in the middle of the audience, bring a marker and a t-shirt and get everybody to draw on you during one of the songs. You know, cry in the fucking song. All of these things that you're planning and that you want to do that trigger your mind to go, we're afraid of that. Because what if we fail and we're wrong and this isn't very cool? It's an awfully big risk. We should stay hiding. Let's hide and play it safe. That's why you always see those shows. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Here's our song. What do you think? It's a song that we created for you. For you. And it's super safe and it might be cool, but you're in the audience going like, I don't give a fuck about this. Because you want the guy to just be like, here's our song. And like spit on somebody and kick over the monitor and puke in the fucking bass drum. Do some shit that's human shit that makes you go, oh, now I'm getting it. That's who you are. Okay. Risk. We like risk. And we're so terrified because what if we're wrong? Fear of failure. And we're so terrified because what if everything has to change? Fear of success. Fear of moving backwards and the fear of moving forwards. So fear is exhausting. Think about your day to day. Think about the tasks you have. And think about how often your brain kicks in and goes, I don't think that's the right task. I don't think you're good enough at this. I don't think this is going to get us anywhere. Think about the amount of times per day your brain kicks in and gets you down the rabbit hole, exhausted, talking to yourself about how much of a failure you really are. It's exhausting. And what that does is that energy closes you down to having this wide open access to the moment and the creative flow. You know, like when you're self-conscious in a songwriting session and you're like, oh, I want to say that thing. I want to talk about broken glass in his forehead for this verse, but it seems too harsh and it's kind of fucked up and everything like that. I shouldn't say that. That's that fear of like, no, don't take a chance and do something cool. Because what if they go like, what the fuck, dude? That's risk. And so it makes you exhausted because you're spending all of your time having that fight rather than just finding out what people think. You want to control it with the fight. So fear is exhausting. Fear makes you controlling because now you're the type of person looking for reasons nothing is your fault because of the fear. I should be able to face this fear, but it sucks. So it's because I don't have enough time. It's because that person keeps me down. It's because the opinion of that person. Right? So it makes you controlling. How do I get this off me and deflect this and protective and defensive? Why didn't you do that today? What the fuck do you mean? I didn't say I was going to do that today. Because you're like, oh fuck, am I supposed to do that today? You don't want to get found out. Right? So it makes you controlling, makes you exhausted and controlling. And that's the opposite of living in the moment, in the judgment-free freedom of the conscious moment. The moment we talk about being on stage, when everything lets go and you don't care and you're just totally in it and nothing is fucking with you. There's no thinking to be done. So when we live exhausted and controlling in fear, we're giving up our expressive freedom and we're going into the mind to go, what's the answer? 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 And there is no answer. The question is about nothing. It's a question that need not be asked. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? All of that shit, right? That's all from fear. So if we can realize that we can't control anything, all we can control is our ability to take responsibility for taking bigger risks in life and in relationships and in love and in lifestyle and in finances, and learn and grow, and take the risk of upping the standard. We can get confidence on that level and be a little less susceptible to that low-level risk of failure and success that keeps us artists totally trapped and unable to open up and really, really give something. We really want to give something. Trapped by fear is not the way to give something. So the homework becomes, go on YouTube today and look at try to look up, or in your mind even, your favorite moment an artist has ever presented to you. You went to a live art thing. And you can identify a moment, you go, that's my favorite moment I ever had live. And if I ask somebody this, they'll always tell me. And I want you to pay attention. But you probably have it in your mind now. The moment you're thinking of that's your favorite time an artist ever blew you away was because of a risk they took. Go in your mind. No, you're not thinking about they played a perfect fucking G chord, or, they nailed the triplets on the... You're not. You're thinking of something where somebody bled on stage, when somebody jumped off the fucking thing, when somebody rode on somebody's shoulders, when somebody cried, when somebody wailed the most intense, crazy-ass wail, when somebody wore something on stage that was like, is that a fireman's outfit with a ballerina? Like that kind of shit. It's always because they risked, so you paid attention, because they challenged you and went, oh, that's cool. That's a fearless person. Look at that. It's a fearless person wearing that shit and saying that shit. And that's what's in your mind. So the homework is that. Identify those moments in history where you went, I loved when that artist gave me that. And then identify that it's because of risk that they took as artists that they were able to make that moment for you and them together. And you can do the same thing for your people when you let go of fear and you risk more and you commit to failure and success and take responsibility for every part of it. State of the Artist Podcast.